Hello YouTube, this is ChardarYuGiOh with another YGO Omega Daily Duel, and today we are playing some Going Second Zoodiac Destiny Hero. This is a list given to me by a friend from my old locals, Zach. Really appreciate him sharing this deck. We are going second deck, so we're going to let our opponent go first. They're not doing anything, so maybe that's confusing. So this hand obviously is not amazing. Opponent's playing Monarch. Ooh, opponent's playing Domain Monarchs. Okay, we might be in a little bit of trouble. Summons Barolineth, Firestorm Vassal, and summons Majesty's Fiend. Well, that's not very nice. So, do they have Domain? We are main decking Twin Twisters and Feather Dusters, so this isn't like completely over. Alright, they don't. So I think... So we can summon this, attack with Borbo, but then we just have a Zeus against their Majesty's Fiend. We can lead on Fusion Destiny and hope they don't have an Ash. They can't Ash. Okay, so Fusion Destiny. Forgot for a second that Majesty's Fiend is from an era of cards that affects both players. Go to battle. Declare attack. Opponent takes 500. Main phase 2, and I guess just pass on that. Opponent only has 3 cards. And they're staring down a Phoenix Enforcer, which should be good against the deck that depends on field spells and continuous spells. Ash is also okay. Haven't seen, like, even back when this deck was big, I didn't see many people playing opponents playing multiple. Pitches a Prime Monarch. Thinking if they want to chain Prime. On the summon of that, I think we're going to Phoenix Enforcer. So if this is tributed, our opponent gets to look at our hand, banish a card, and we don't want them to do that. So we're going to blow up Barolineth, activate Phoenix Enforcer, so they can still bring back Prime and then tribute summon something that takes 1 tribute, but we should be getting Phoenix Enforcer back. Opponent thinking through their options again, just goes to the end phase. Okay, we draw Thoroughblade, that's pretty good. We will not trigger Dasher. Summon back Phoenix Enforcer. Normal summon Thoroughblade, effective Thoroughblade. Discard the Ram, we draw Monster Reborn, that can be cute. Summon Borbo. Go to battle. Attack with the Borbo. Opponent activates Prime, banishing a Prime. That's fine. Will not activate an effect. Replay, continue the attack. Attack directly. Opponent takes 16. Attack over Prime Monarch. Then 1, 2, 3, go to main phase 2. We're not going to pile on the Zeus because we don't want to get nibbed. Summon Zeus and pass the turn. Opponent draws. Gonna need a really strong top deck because now we have Phoenix Enforcer, Ash, and Zeus. Opponent just passes. Okay. We draw a droplet. That's not very exciting. Change Zeus to attack. Opponent doesn't have any more Monarch spells. Reborn, target, Dasher, I guess. Summon back Dasher. Go to battle. Attack with Dasher. Opponent takes 21. Attack with Phoenix Enforcer. Opponent takes 25. Zeus for game. All right, we got there. Okay, opponent's deck is really interesting. I'm not sure how powerful it is, like in a vacuum, but just summoning a Majesty's Fiend will beat a lot of decks. So what do we want to side deck? We have a lot of things that seem kind of bad. Impermanent Droplet beat the Majesty's Fiend. Mystic Mind can keep us alive for a while. Nib will probably not do anything. Probably bring in draws over nibs. Really wish we had this third draw. Bring in the Lancia. That can keep our opponent from using Pantheism. Summoning back Prime. Let's try it like that. Right, does our opponent... Well, this hand is a little bit annoyingly like our last hand. We're really good at drawing Celestial. Standby, main. What do you have, opponent? Sets a monster. And passes. Okay. We drew Celestial and Dasher because we are bad at Yu-Gi-Oh! Normal summon Bunny Blast. Summon the Borbo. Go to battle. Attack directly. Opponent takes 800. Go to main phase 2. Summon. So 1, 2, 3. I think we do the same thing again. Just summon the Zeus. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then this should be 4. Both materials are in our hand, so we're hoping this Phoenix Enforcer catches us up a bit. Activate the Phoenix Enforcer. Destroy it in our opponent's set. Do we destroy a Barrelynth? Activate Phoenix Enforcer. Pass the turn. So if we need to, we can set both the spells in our hand to draw a couple cards. Standby phase. Phoenix Enforcer resolves. It comes back. Opponent goes to main. Activates domain. Domain on its own is fine. It's what else our opponent has that could potentially be scary. Opponent activates domain. Reveals Zaborg. Makes all level 6. opponent activates Stormforth, so we're going to chain Phoenix Enforcer because we would really like to keep Phoenix Enforcer. Destroy that in domain, activate the effect of Phoenix Enforcer. So now our opponent can tribute Zeus for Zaborg, but I don't think Zaborg does anything if we don't have a monster. Zaborg has to target itself. It's a mandatory effect? Okay. So they did destroy a light monster, so this should trigger, right? Target one monster in the field, destroy it. Both players send as many cards as possible from their extra deck. Does this not resolve because our opponent doesn't have an extra deck? Huh. I would have thought that resolves, but perhaps not. Opponent thinking through their options. I wonder if they... Maybe they're still... Oh, maybe they're resolving this and that's what's taking so long. So if it did destroy a light monster, they get to pick. So they get to send 8 cards from our extra deck to the graveyard, so maybe that's what's taking a minute. Okay, so it does resolve. Opponent dumps all the rest of our Divine Arsenals and a bunch of our Zoodiac cards to the grave. Resolve Phoenix Enforcer. Phoenix Enforcer comes back. Now we have Chuckanine and Vespinato. I think we just go to battle, attack for 25, main phase 2, pass the turn. Opponent draws. Phoenix Enforcer seems really, really good against our opponent's deck. Oh, opponent finds Idia. That's not amazing. Activates Idia. Gets Eidos. Okay, these are the ones that I would have expected to see. These ones are a little bit better than Barrel Length. Barrel Length, looking at the opponent's hand, doesn't seem bad. Especially comboed with Erebus to shuffle a card back. I'm surprised that one didn't see more play. Opponent has Erebus. Activates Erebus. We will chain Phoenix Enforcer. Destroy, destroy. Opponent dumps the Prime Monarch and Escalation of the Monarchs. Shuffles back our dead Fusion Destiny. We're good with that. Activate the Phoenix Enforcer. So now opponent can summon back the Prime and they can summon back Idia. Goes to the end phase. We draw a Feather Duster. Potentially will be good in the future. Draw phase. So our opponent want to summon Prime. Opponent, you have to pass as priority at some point. Just a quick effect. No. Resolve Phoenix Enforcer. Phoenix Enforcer comes back. Go to battle. So our opponent's going to be putting up, they're going to be stopping our attacks for a while, but I'm not sure how they ever get through Phoenix Enforcer. We'll grind them out eventually. Then if we ever draw Pot of Avarice and get the rest of our engines online, Then we're golden. Opponent's going to activate Prime, banish Escalation, summon Prime, declare attack, attack over the Prime. So this Prime can come back at least 2 more times, and our opponent's going to be putting more spells and traps in the graveyard. Pass the turn, opponent draws. Opponent activates Prime again, banishes Domain. Summons Prime. I guess, okay, so I guess the way our opponent could out this is if they have Domain and then tribute summon Majesty's Fiend, they can attack over the Phoenix Enforcer and then we can't activate it. Activates Eidos, targets Idia, and I guess Idia can get back the banished domain. So I don't think we're dying anytime soon, but this is going to be a bit of a slog. Monarch's very fun deck. Summons Idia, Idia triggers, sure. Summons Barrelynth. Do we let Barrelynth go? I think so. So if we blow up Barrelynth, opponent can summon an Erebus to go through our hand, can summon Aether to hit us for 56. I don't think we die either way. Alright. We want to keep Feather Duster. Activate Phoenix Enforcer. Destroy itself. Destroy Barrelynth. Activate effective Phoenix Enforcer. I think we're really hoping to draw Pot of Avarice. That can that will speed this game up a little bit. Opponent has another Erebus. Sure. Idia triggers. Targets domain. Erebus triggers. Dumps another Prime and an Erupt. Choose from grave. Alright, opponent put Phoenix Enforcer back in the deck. Annoying. I wonder why they didn't do that the first time. Alright, Pot of Avarice on top of the deck, please. Alright, activates domain, sure. Opponent is one of the slower Monarch players I've ever seen in my life. Goes to battle. 2800. Does this trigger when it only attacks a monster? Yes, okay. 2800, sure. Main phase, end phase. We draw Fusion Destiny. Not live yet. Resolve Phoenix Enforcer. Summon back Dasher. Opponent going to use Prime or no? Go to our main phase. So Chalk can summon back nothing that matters. We're at 52. What's the chances of it's dying here? Not. Alright, how do we die? So opponent can summon back Prime. During this turn, summon back Prime during their own turn, summon Aether. Dump 2, summon 1, attack over Dasher, 28-28, we die. Seems more likely than we would like, so we'll set Ram. Unfortunately, so we had to summon Dasher to resolve Phoenix Enforcer. Ideally, what will happen is we'll get to a point where we have no monsters on the board, and then we can just activate this mine, wait until we draw Pot of Avarice. Heartbeat's Feather Duster, destroy the domain, summon a Zeus, clear the board, and then just kill our opponent from there. Alright, opponent didn't summon the Prime, which makes you think they don't have Aether. Activates the Prime on their turn. Oh no, activates Erebus, discarding the Stormforth. Gets a Borg. Activates Prime. Banishes Erupt. Summons Prime. So you're gonna either activates Tenacity. So they can Zaborg, tribute Erebus, blow up Prime, get rid of the rest of our extra deck. Oh, Domain Monarchs. This is one of those decks that kind of wish would just like stay dead forever. Reveals the Zaborg that we know about. Gets March of the Monarchs. Tribute some monsters can't be destroyed by card effects or targeted. That doesn't hurt anything we're doing. Alright, reveals the Borg. Tributes Prime. Zaborg target our set. We will activate Ram. Target the bunny. Summon back the bunny. So we won game one so quickly. I really thought this game would not be taking this long. Opponent attacks over the Dasher. Opponent attacks over the bunny. Effect of the bunny. Oh, we can put ones from the extra deck back. Put back Borbo. I don't know what our opponent is thinking about. They have Domain, March, and 2 Monarchs. Like, come on. Alright, we draw a Whiptail. We will not activate Dasher. We activate Mystic Mine into what is probably... This has got to be like one of the single most toxic game states I have ever seen. We have Domain plus March staring down Mystic Mine. How, like, I think we win this game. Because all we have to do is Avarice, put back one of our arsenals, our Dasher, our Celestial, and a couple Zoodiacs. We can blow up our opponent's back row. And I think we can control the game from there. Alright, opponent activates Prime, banishes Tenacity, summons back Prime. We won game one so quickly. I was expecting this to be kind of a blowout, but perhaps not. Perhaps Monarchs were a deck ahead of their time. I will give them that. Come on, opponent. Speed this up. We've got lives to live. Opponent goes to battle, learning that they can't attack. We draw a Forbidden Droplet. I guess we can set that. Pass the turn. End phase. Opponent draws. If our opponent has a Feather Duster, anything to out this mine, we're in trouble. Tributes Prime for Kuraz. Sure. Do we have any Whiptails in Grave? We don't. My thinking is, once we get to a point where we can out this, we probably want to... Twin Twisters is also not bad. Pass the turn. Instead of trying to control the game with Zeus, we might be able to just make a huge Borbo, attack our opponent directly, and win that way. And that's almost certainly safer. Don't remember how many Whiptails are in this list. Opponent activates Prime, banishes Stormforth, summons back Prime, activates Domain, reveals Aether. Well, we did play around the Aether a few turns ago, so that worked out for us. Tributes Prime. We will not activate anything. We draw Pot of Avarice. Alright, that's step one. Activate Pot. Put back Dasher, Celestial, Zeus. We already put back a Borbo. Putting back a second Borbo is probably one of our more valuable cards. And Tiger. Opponent can't Ash because of the mine. We draw Ram and Bunny. Okay, that's progress. Pass the turn, getting closer. Opponent also decks out before we do, which I hope this game doesn't come to that, but is worth noting. Standby main. Passes. We draw an Imperm. Set Imperm. Pass the turn. Opponent draws. On my other screen, I'm trying to find the link to this deck list. So I want to know how many Whiptails we have. That actually super matters. Oh, where was this sent? Just had it. There we go. All right, so put this over here. We are playing 3 Thoroughblade, 3 Whiptail. So we have outs that we can be drawing to. Opponent passes. We draw another Whiptail. All right, getting closer. Set Twin Twisters. So 24, 24, 28. Pass the turn. So we need one more Whiptail and a Thoroughblade. And then that's enough to get lethal in a single attack. Opponent activates Tenacity. You're going to thin the deck more. Tenacity reveals Majesty's Fiend. I don't think Majesty's Fiend hurts us anymore because nothing... Oh no, Majesty's Fiend keeps us from using the Whiptails to attach. So we'll have to keep the Imperm or the Droplet, one or the other. Whichever opponent's any backward removal, it's probably 100% going at the mine. Alright, opponent searched Eruption, which is normally a problem, but we're playing to this Feather Duster anyway. So I don't think any of our opponent's back row other than Solemn Judgment probably matters. Alright, we draw Thoroughblade. Okay, so 16, 28, 4,000. We're close. We're really close. Set this Fusion Destiny. Pass the turn. Opponent draws. Standby main. Activates Monarch's Erupt. This is one of the worst games of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've played. We draw Whiptail. Please draw Whiptail. We want this to end. We draw another mine. Not what we want. Go to the end phase. Discard a ram. Opponent activates Pantheism, pitches Domain, draws a couple cards, sets one. Not activating Pantheism from the grave. I wonder if they don't have targets left. We draw an Ash. That doesn't do anything. Activate Twin Twisters, discard Ash, target, in case this is Solemn Judgment or something like that. Opponent's thinking they have something they can do. Might just be the Prime. Oh, it's a Prime on field. Using Prime's effect. Now, so Chagan has 2 materials. So we could set the bunny. Hope it lives. Next turn, normal the Thoroughblade, overlay those. But I think we don't do that in case our opponent has more Storm. Okay, so there's one Stormforth. Are all the Stormforths gone? No, our opponent still could have a Stormforth, so we're just gonna pass. There's a Prime, there's a Prime. The opponent shuffled a Prime back into the deck. So Prime could potentially keep them from decking out as well. It's fine. We're not playing to our opponent decking out. We don't need to worry about that. Opponent normals Eidos. Sure. We draw another. All right, we're going for it. I think this works. If our opponent has a way out of this, I'm gonna cry. We Feather Duster, normal Thoroughblade, special Borbo, activate Whiptail, target Borbo. Activate Whiptail, target Borbo. Activate Whiptail, target Borbo. Go to battle. Attack directly. Damage step. Damage calc. Oh my god. Okay. That was miserable. I GG opponent, your deck was standing up very well, but oh my god, that was a terrible game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, GG, I guess.